very overexcited because they're very hot. They're very fabulous, and they are Robin Windsor and Kristina Rihanoff from Burn the Floor, but also from Strictly.
Yes.
Yay! Welcome.
Morning.
Such a joy to see you, because I love the show. Too scared to do it. I always say no. I can't dance or save my life. Terrified. No, it terrifies me.
Everybody can dance.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, you have to be on
me.
Strictly.
No, it really, honestly makes my palms go sweaty. I can't. But Burn the Floor, stunning, amazing show.
Oh, thank you so much.
Now, it's presently on at the Shaftesbury Theatre, and you're both in it until just the end of June, is it?
Yes, but it's continuing at the moment until the beginning of September.
Right. Well, it's sensational. I've never been to. I've been to ballets. I'm very lucky, and I've been to other shows, but I've never been to anything quite like it, and I didn't know what to expect. And I know because I was tweeting halfway through in the interval, and you tweeted me back, and I screamed to my friend, because it's the most vibrant, sexy. I can't describe. I left there skipping.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think it's going to be a very traditional ballroom dancing show.
Oh, no.
And it's far from it. This is not your grandparents' ballroom. It's young, it's hip, it's sexy, it's...
very on edge.
It's everything ballroom dancing isn't, really.
That's why I was so surprised. I really was. I've urged people to see it. If you haven't got tickets yet, go and see the show. It is stunning. Stunning.
Oh, thank
so
you.
I will give everybody the details how they can go along to see you at the Shaftesbury. I've got the number and everything. I'll give them that after. Now let's talk to you about you and your lives and where you started. Kristina, now am I right in thinking you were born in Siberia?
Yes, Siberia, Vladivostok, just a little city in the very east of Russia.
So how did you go from there to here via America?
Gosh. Yeah, I traveled loads. First I moved to the States.
Well, can we go back to your childhood?
Yes, all right.
Let's go back to Vladivostok. Did you dance when you were very young?
Yes, my father's a musician, and I grew up sort of in a house full of music. He always played great tunes, and actually because of the Russian connection with Cuba at that time, we had lots of Latin music in the house. So that's how I fell in love with Latin music. And so from the age of 3 or 4, I was always dancing in front of my parents and their guests. So then mom took me to ballroom school, and that's where it all started.
And then from being there at school, how did you then get into winning all the championships in America and all? How did that all
just had I had really great teachers. They took us to all sorts of competitions around Russia, and then we started traveling outside of Russia and stuff. And eventually I moved to the States. I was invited to compete professionally there, and moved to Seattle, Washington first, and then all over America, basically moved all over the place, and finally got here to London and Strictly Come Dancing.
And then let's go to you then, Robin. Was yours the same? Where you were born, obviously not in Vladivostok. Tell us about how you all started in dance.
No, I'm an Ipswich boy.
Yep.
I grew up there. My parents took me down to a local dance studio when I was 3 years old, and I just wiggled my hips, and I'm still wiggling them now, just a little bit faster.
Quite a lot.
I was competing all throughout my childhood, and then I actually joined Burn the Floor when I was 20 years old. And I was with them for 9 years before I left to do Strictly Come Dancing. And now to be invited back to star in the show where it really all started for me is kind of like full circle.
Oh,
so it's really cool.
But as a child, when you started wiggling your hips and joining competitions, whose idea was it? Was it your parents to say, go on, compete, or was it you? Where did it come from?
It was me. I fell in love with it. I knew from a very early age that all I ever wanted to do was dance. So I was just passionate about it and kept plodding on, and you can do this. And eventually I could. So it all worked out in the end.
And what about your friends? Because I interviewed a long time ago Brendan, and he was saying that he was treated badly because he said he wanted to dance. People weren't very friendly about it.
I was actually very lucky. Everybody at my school got behind me. I'd have a dance competition on a Sunday, and I'd go into school on the Monday with a bright orange face with all the fake tan on, and all the kids, even the tough kids, they'd be like, how did your competition go? And I was like, that's not quite what I was expecting, but I was very, very fortunate. And they got behind me, and they still support me now.
And how about you, Kristina? With your friends, what did your friends think about this and you competing?
Well, I think in Russia at that time, especially, it was Soviet Union, obviously, when I was a child, it was very sort of a normal thing that after school you go to either music school or dance school or whatever, but
or gymnastics.
yeah, you had to do something. And as I say, nothing is for fun in Russia, to be honest. It wasn't a fun thing to do. It was something we sort of did for competitions, to win the medal, and all of that. So it was a lot of discipline around, and we were actually very much supported by the whole system. The teachers, the parents were encouraging you to do that, and actually everybody was doing something. And I think it was great because we all actually were very disciplined. We were all doing something after school.
Do you think that is good, or do you think it's important for a child to be able to be a child? to hear that you were also disciplined at such a young age in Russia.
I mean, it helped me, to be honest, because those friends of mine who actually didn't do anything, to be honest, they, end up not doing much in the end of the day. So I'm actually quite fortunate, I think, that I had that support system around me. And yeah, I mean, I love dancing. So I think I could have chosen anything else, to be honest, but dancing was just my passion. I loved it so much that my parents encouraged me to do dance classes.
And did you want to leave Russia? Did you see this as your way out as well?
I think when I was 20, obviously a lot of things changed in Russia, and it was normal thing at that time already. We could travel and go and do whatever we want. So to go to the States, it was actually just a professional decision because, I was invited to compete there professionally, and that's what I wanted to do. And if I had that option in Russia, I would have stayed, but there wasn't.
And maybe you didn't have the longing to leave Ipswich, I don't know.
I was out of there like a shot. But I do love my roots. Anybody listening out there,
It's a British boy.
And I, ever since I was a little boy, I always wanted to go and live in London. It was my thing. That's something I had to do. And I used to sit and watch stage doors at theatres and think one day I want to be the person that's going in and coming out of that door because it looks so cool, and it is.
And then you got chosen for Strictly, and obviously one of the biggest shows on television. How has your life changed? I mean, nothing's secret in your life, I suppose, anymore. How do you feel about it all, the fame, if you like?
I kind of take it all within my stride. It's all quite exciting, but with Strictly, I get to do my two favourite jobs in the whole world, which is to perform and teach. So there's I can't think of another job in the world where I could get to do my two favourite things. And yeah, there's a lot of commotion that comes with it, but that's all part and parcel, I think, and we just take it all in our stride.
And does it... Oh, please tell me it does a bit. Does it upset you if you don't get the person you want to dance with? Please tell me it does a bit. You must have your eye as professional dancers.
Yes and no. Let's take last year, for example.
Oh, I loved you and Lisa.
I was very honest from the beginning. I really wanted Kimberly Walsh from the beginning, but having Lisa was the best possible thing that could ever have happened to both of us. And like I said at the time, you never judge a book by its cover, and she just astonished me and the entire country.
I so wanted her to win because I was so moved by it all. I just seeing this stunning girl. I'm lucky to have met her on a few occasions, and she's just such a lovely girl.
Yeah, lovely,
fun person.
And she wasn't being judged on her size, and that was so. She's just a regular girl who's out there and wanted to have a good time.
And she's inspired so many people just to prove that you don't have to be a certain size to get up and dance, and that's what it's all about. I want the rest of the country to get up and start to learn to ballroom dance, and if Lisa can help in that direction, it's just been brilliant.
Why? Why do you want everybody to dance? Explain, because you all say that all the time. Kristina, you all say it. Why do you want everybody to dance?
I think dancing is just a universal language. You just, first of all, you connect with so many other people who have the same passion, and also it makes you feel great, makes you feel absolutely fantastic, just like you described after the Burn the Floor show. When you watched it, you feel, I just felt great. And that's what dancing does to you. You sort of forget about everything else, all the troubles, all the problems. You just enjoy music and dancing, and it's wonderful, I think, for anyone.
Do you really, honestly, like you said at the beginning, believe that anybody can dance?
Yeah, anybody can dance. Not everybody necessarily has rhythm, but everybody can learn the steps.
See, that's the bit I can't do. I've got rhythm, and I've been in musicals and all of that, and I can sing. But say to me, left, right, move, turn. Honestly, I would cry now if you made me do it.
Then perhaps you should join a certain TV show this autumn and ask to dance with a very handsome Englishman.
No, but seriously, there is that panicky thing because there's so much to remember.
But
it
it's like
becomes muscle
anything,
memory
yes.
eventually. Once it's repetition. I think they say you have to do something 60 odd times in a row for it to actually sink in. If you can do that, it'll become muscle memory, and you'll be waltzing around the floor like
I was in
everybody else.
Chicago for a year, and they took the turn out because I kept saying, "Please, I'll cry if you make me turn as Mama Morton." I couldn't do it.
I don't believe it. I'm sure you
believe
can
it.
dance.
Really believe it. So, obviously for Burn the Floor, and you said you were in it for all those years. Has that changed people's perception? Do you think of you two because of Strictly? Because they see you one way on Strictly, but this is. To me, you're different now. I see you both differently because of seeing Burn the Floor.
Well, it's our sort of time to shine, really, because we can actually show our full potential and capacity, what we can do. And Strictly, you have group numbers and you have maybe a little tiny solo, and that's it, really. So here you have 2 hours of dancing, and it's so raw. It's sort of ballroom dancing unplugged. You know, it's very sexy, very on edge. And Robin and I, we can do anything we want, any tricks, sort of exciting lifts, and all of that. So it's really our time to sort of go for it and do it full out, our professional stuff.
But also, you choreograph, both of you, don't you?
Yes.
You didn't choreograph Burn the Floor, though, did you?
No, that's choreographed by a guy called Jason Gilkison. He did the entire show. It's all his baby, and he's a genius.
But you do on Strictly, you choreograph everything, don't you, with
Yes.
with your partners?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the big
everything.
numbers as well, you do,
Yes.
don't you, as well, Kristina?
Yeah, Robin and I, we choreograph a lot of group numbers for Strictly, and that's something we also enjoy doing. It's obviously sort of a great experience and learning experience as well. So yeah.
And are you going to be on the next series?
We don't know yet. We're finding out in the next
Fingers
month
crossed.
or so.
Really? They leave it that late?
Yeah.
Till June, we'll find out.
It gets very nervous for us all around this time of year.
Oh, goodness me. Well, listen, I hope you're both on it again. Let me
you.
give the details of Burn the Floor. I've honestly... I've been going on and on about it ever since I saw it. It really is worth going to see. If you've never seen a dance show, I think this is a great way to start. It's very, very sexy. Very sexy in places. Goodness me. The number for the Shaftesbury Theatre is 0207 379 5399. That's 0207 379 5399. It is well worth going to see. I'm so thrilled to meet you both. It really is. And you are so incredibly fit. That's probably the politest way of putting it. You just look great. So obviously you're a good advert for dancing.
Thank you. Well,
you've seen Burn the Floor. It's a 2-hour dance marathon, so doing that 8 times a week.
yeah, it's like burn the calories. That's what it should.
We've got lots of chocolates out there. You're allowed a chocolate because you're burning so many calories.
Oh, yes.
And there's some booze out there as well.
That's
Not on a double show day. You'll be wobbling everywhere.
Robin and Kristina, a real pleasure to meet you at long last. Thank you so much for coming in. It's been
Thank
lovely
you.
to meet you. Thank you very
so
much.
Non-emergency rescue. Doesn't tell me how many people, but it's on the 2nd floor.
A lift getting stuck is classed as a non-emergency, so fire engines don't have to do any high-speed